Thank you for joining me on the Tech Savvy Entrepreneur. Here we're talking about the benefits of cloud computing for small businesses. And the cloud's such a big topic, and a lot of people talk about it, and they have not really sure what all it is. And I love this meme that goes around that says, the only difference between the files stored on your computer and files stored in the cloud is you're really just storing those files in somebody else's computer. Now, first and foremost, when you use a cloud, it's a very reliable, well-maintained, well-looked after computer. So that's one of the advantages of having a cloud. But also think about this. There's so many different types of cloud. There's clouds for maybe putting some files in your pictures, those types of things. And there's clouds that hold applications, things that we do. And those are also clouds. And all of the apps, all of the things you use that are on your phone or computer are contained in a cloud somewhere, okay? So if you go to your favorite social media site, which, by the way, like and subscribe to the Tech Savvy Entrepreneur on all of these great cloud sites like YouTube, which is a great cloud storage for video. You can see our videos there, or you can listen to us on all of the social podcasting sites, which are also some great places for us to store our audio. So for this podcast, I use a cloud storage called SoundCloud. There's one called Buzzsprout and other places where we store these audio files, and that's a cloud in itself, and I can put them there and I don't have to worry about downtime, which downtime just really means that maybe the thing goes offline and it doesn't work, like your computer turned off, because literally we need to connect to that computer that is there. You're connecting to these individual computers out there on the internet so that they can get the stuff that they need. So when you connect to your own cloud, or your employees connect to their own cloud, they're connecting and grabbing these files. So the wonderful thing about files, and if you ever owned a file server, you have to have a server in your office, and your employees have to be able to connect to that and get all of the files that are on the server they need and be able to work on them. When you purchase a cloud, which is typically purchased in one way, and that's a subscription-based thing because you're paying for professionals to manage that cloud, and you're paying rent typically on this server, unless you bought your own server, but you still have some maintenance cost involved with your own server. But let's say you're going to go buy a cloud, okay? And so one of the most popular clouds that is out there is Microsoft 365, which is a huge ecosystem, but one big part of that is OneDrive and SharePoint. And OneDrive is the personal side of it. That's where you keep your own files isolated, and SharePoint is where you share them with everybody. And you can have a SharePoint, and all of your employees can connect in there and get all of the files that they need to do their job. You can do real-time collaboration. You can work on a Word document or a spreadsheet together at the same time, and you can work on that, do live meetings through maybe their Teams platform, and do all of these wonderful things that you do through cloud. Now, one of the things that you say, well, why do I need a cloud? Well, it's really how well they're maintained. So you're paying rent on a cloud, and that means that if you have this cloud, then you're paying somebody, a professional, to make sure that everything stays there. You want to make sure that this thing stays online. You don't have to worry about whether you have electricity, whether you have internet connection, whether or not you even have a physical office. And this is why cloud became so big during COVID, because during COVID, everybody had to go home, of course, and all of their stuff was at the office. And so we had to find a way to connect them back to the office. And during COVID, I helped a lot of people convert to the cloud. And so I moved them up into the cloud. Maybe it's SharePoint, maybe it's Google has a product. There's thousands of products out there. And we moved all these files to the cloud. And I'm just talking specifically files that we moved to the cloud. So you could easily access them and talk to each other in real time and get all of those things. And we have to worry about a central server at an office. And I really started looking at the business benefits about the cloud. This can live on a central server that's not on my office. I don't have to worry about paying for the electricity or hiring a specialist who works on servers, or worry about the huge capital expense it takes to run this server. And so that's why it was really popular, and people didn't have to come into the office. Like, they could access this 24/7. We didn't have to worry about different versioning. I mean, it was really an incredible technology. And it was huge really before COVID, but after COVID, it just took off. And everybody has a cloud today. I mean, you're using some type of cloud resource, whether you realize it or not at this point. Like any type of video or file storage that you have in the cloud, it's cloud-based. If you have photo storage or photo backup, or you use your phone, you're accessing a cloud in some way. And a lot of people just demystifying the cloud is just really understand that these companies have some really expensive servers with some really highly skilled professionals who maintain those servers, that you can put your stuff there and it's safe. You can have your own cloud, and you're going to have very expensive servers where you're going to put professionals in place to manage that. I'm Nate, and I am a cloud professional, and I help companies manage their cloud servers. I help them connect their servers to other clouds, and I help navigate when is the right time to have a cloud and when is the right time to have a server. I'm a proponent of computing. I'm a proponent of good business efficiency. So there are times where you have to look at the cost and say, do I want all of my files in the cloud? Does it make business sense, money sense to put your money in the cloud? Sometimes it does. Sometimes the cost is way higher for the type of application you're using. You want to buy your own server. And this is really what it comes into: application servers. So maybe you have special applications running, special software running on that server. You can put that into a cloud, absolutely. But sometimes the cost of transferring the data into the cloud, transferring it back out, looking, accessing all of that information, it makes more sense for you to have a server on site. If you need fast access to it, it may make sense to have a local server where you keep that accessible. And all of this is talking about the efficiency and the cost factor of it. But you might be asking, what about security? Now, that's another hat. Put on my security hat and say, let's talk about security of your cloud and security of your local server. So just because it's stored in the cloud isn't inherently makes it secure. And a lot of feedback I get so often is, the cloud's not secure, like it's somewhere else. I don't know where my stuff lives. It's all over the place. And that's why it's so important, if you're going to set up a cloud, you set it up the right way. So get a professional who's really a subject matter expert on how the cloud works and sets it up in a secure way. You want to set it up using multi-factor authentication for the login and access of it. You want to make sure that you understand how to keep the users that are supposed to be in there in the cloud, and the bad actors, the bad people that shouldn't be in the cloud, out of the cloud, so they don't have access to your data. It's so important. You want to make sure that you work with a professional that can not only set it up the right way in a secure fashion that's efficient, that you can get access to everything when you need it, but also make sure that it's secure in the right way as well. Because there's a lot of good clouds out there that get hacked, not because the cloud itself is bad, but it's bad because somebody didn't do their job in the right way. So it's still important. It comes down to an HR factor where you're going to hire the exact right person to make sure that your cloud is secure. So making sure you have good password security, good multi-factor authentication. You need to put security scanning in place to make sure that files aren't changed or deleted at the right time. If you have compliance standards, and maybe you're a medical facility, maybe you're manufacturing, and have some compliance standards on data retention, you want to make sure now you put good backup in that cloud, and many, if not all clouds have a backup capability. Make sure you're backing up your cloud so that that cloud is stored to another cloud somewhere. Or one really cool thing is backing up that cloud to your local site. So if the cloud has an issue, you lose access to the internet, you can just access it locally. It's a really great way to use that. So Some couple of tips as we come down to the end of the episode. What is the right way? Like, how do you choose the right solution for your small business? And I gotta say, when it comes to the cloud, it can't just be about the money. Like, it needs to be about the money. We need to look at that. We need to look at the bottom line. But sometimes the value of efficiency. Like, can I access this file quickly? Can I access this application quickly, and how can I access it, and where can I access it, and is it easy for me to give access to my employees or revoke that access? Those are questions that you have to ask. And sometimes the cost may be a little bit higher for another cloud, but if it makes you more efficient and it makes you take less time to get to the end product, that price might make it more worthwhile for you. There's so many benefits to computing with cloud, and it can be combined so well with your local infrastructure, and connecting that together is so important. So look at efficiency, but also look at good security, and not just measuring it specifically on price, but also how can this save me time and energy to make sure that you have it in place. I always think and will always say the number one place to start is with a professional that knows how to set it up securely and efficiently for you and understands all of these questions. So if you're going to talk to a professional about buying a cloud, the professional should not just come in and say, here's a cloud and here's how much money it is, but rather they should take the time to sit down with you and understand your business processes before they ever build a cloud, and then put that together and develop it into a plan for you for your business. Thank you so much for listening to the Tech Savvy Entrepreneur. These are quick podcast episodes because I know you're busy. Like and subscribe to the Tech Savvy Entrepreneur. Hey, we've got them on all the popular social media channels. I'm Nate. I work for Astoria. I am the president and founder of Astoria. We are a managed security provider, and we take care of helping build secure and efficient clouds, as well as all sorts of other technology and really cool things that I do. And I just love talking about it and making your business better. So if you want to be a tech savvy entrepreneur, hit me up on my website, grab me on my social medias. I'd love to chat with you more, and thanks for listening today.